Let's get this mic on here. First and foremost, 2 disclaimers. 1, ignore my voice. I just got over being sick and I have that like residual sinusy sound to me. I hate it, but I'm feeling better. I'm so excited to be back in the gym after taking like 2 or 3 days off. So it's really nice to be back and I'm ready for this leg day. And the other disclaimer is to ignore my hair because I have to put it up and it looks insane right now. I love doing these mic'd up videos for you guys. I feel like I can really talk to you about like the workouts I'm doing and like why I'm doing them. So I'm still currently training legs 3 times a week. Mondays are my quad and glute sessions. Wednesdays are my glute and hamstring sessions. And then either Friday or Saturday, depending on how I'm feeling at the end of the week, is my full leg day. And I love ending the week with a full leg day, just hitting a little bit of everything. I feel like really hyper focusing in the beginning of the week when I'm like more fresh from the weekend, focusing on like quads one day, hamstrings the other day, like it really helps me. But then at the end of the week when I'm feeling a little bit tired from training and worn down from the week, it's nice to just hit like a full all-around leg day. That being said, we're gonna get started. I honestly forget what I'm starting with because this is a new program for me. I just wrote this. I'm gonna go do my dynamic warm-up. Don't forget to warm up, and then I will meet you guys at the first exercise. So we're gonna start off with some adductions and adductions. I just said the same thing. We're gonna start off with some adductions and abductions. We're doing 2 sets of 12 to 15 of both, and I like to do these before getting into my other movements because I feel like they open up my hips and they get me nice and primed and ready to go for the rest of the workout. So with my abduction, it might look a little weird, but I like to lean forward to try to hit the glute med a little bit more. I feel like when I'm more upright, I'm hitting just like piriformis, and that's not the goal. So if you're having trouble feeling abductions in your glute med, just try positioning yourself differently. For our first main compound, I'm using the squat pro machine. If you don't have one of these, you can sub this out for any sort of like squat or pressing movement. I love this machine, but it is made for the taller people. So I have to use a platform in order to hit depth a little bit better. I've been using like a wedge to elevate my heels recently, but it's still just like not enough. I feel like I'm like barely hitting parallel. I'm using this platform. Hopefully my Olympic lifter friends at the gym don't get mad that I'm stealing their platforms. Even like this little bit has made a huge difference. So I'm warming up now. I just checked and my rep scheme is 2 sets of 10 to 12. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna work up to because this is my first time doing it with this platform. So it's definitely gonna be a little bit heavier now that I'm hitting more depth and there's more range of motion there.
I like what she do. She said she for the same goal.
With this being a full leg day, I like to try to hit each muscle group at least once. Obviously, the compound lifts are hitting multiple muscle groups at once, but this is going to be our more like quad focused movement. In order to bias the quads on these, we'll want to focus on prioritizing knee flexion. All right, so first set of 10 to 12 here. Wait a minute. I'm fucking dead, dude. So I genuinely feel like adding this platform has made like a huge difference for my form. Before I feel like I was like barely hitting parallel and like my back was doing a lot of the work, but these felt so freaking good because I could actually engage my legs more. I'm so excited about that. And I thought the tempo was decent. So I think I'm going to increase the weight because again, I'm supposed to be doing 2 sets of 10 to 12 and I got 15 here. So I'm just going to add a 25 on each side and do my last set. Next, we're moving into a more hamstring and glute focused exercise, which is dumbbell RDLs. Now, it's the only form of RDL I can do right now. I can't do barbell RDLs with my back. And my favorite variation, which is on a belt squat machine, we have a belt squat, but it's not very good for RDLs, so I just stick to the dumbbell. I'm working on increasing my weight back up with these since re-aggravating my back, so we're gonna hope these go well today, but I'm doing 2 sets of 10 to 12. Might be able to do more, we'll see. But But again, focusing on the tempo and the mind muscle connection. With RDLs, it's really hard for me to feel them where I want. Very easy for my form to not be like on point, and for my mind muscle connection just not to be there. This is a hinging movement, so we want to be focusing on that. I like to pretend like I'm pushing my butt back to the wall behind me or trying to close a door behind me with my butt. Nice neutral spine, tucked chin, lats engaged. Another disclaimer, you're probably wondering why I'm only doing 2 sets of everything. I do leg days 3 times a week, like I said. So my coach wants my volume per leg day to be like 12 to 14 sets. Now this is a full leg day, meaning I'm trying to hit everything and trying to hit abductors, adductors, quads, glutes, hamstrings, and calves in one workout while staying between 12 and 14 sets. Obviously it's possible, but it's just a little bit more difficult. I feel like I am doing more exercises but less sets each exercise. So I'm doing, I believe, 7 exercises total today. So I'm just doing 2 working sets per exercise to keep it around that 14 set range. But 7 exercises is a lot to be doing on a leg day. Usually I'll stay between like 4 and 6. This one's a little bit difficult for me to show you guys just because of the way that this machine is set up with everything around it. But this is the standing hip thrust machine. I have learned to love this. I was such a hater when my gym first got this machine because I couldn't connect with it. I just didn't think it was a good exercise, and then I worked on it and I actually learned how to use it, and now I love it. So we're gonna do 2 sets of 12 to 15 here. We are going to finish up with some seated hamstring curls and some leg extensions. I'm doing 2 sets of 10 to 12 each exercise. You want to make sure that you're keeping your back pressed against this back pad, especially with hamstring curls. A lot of times when the weight is too heavy, we'll compensate by like arching our back to try to like get the weight down. So we don't want to go so heavy that we end up doing that, but we want to go heavy enough where we're still getting those hamstrings and using good form. With the leg extension, you can adjust this back pad on most of them. When I used to do them, since I'm short, I used to push this seat all the way up to put me at a more upright position, but I found better growth and better mind muscle connection when I actually put the seat back, because it allows me to lean back more and it gives me a greater stretch in my quads, whereas if I'm sitting more upright, my quads are in more of a shortened position. There's no good angle to put this camera for these calf raises, so you're just gonna have to deal with this one. I'm doing actually 3 sets of calf raises. I'm doing 10 to 12. They are a little underdeveloped no matter how much I train these suckers. I get so many comments all the time that are like, oh my god, her calves don't match the rest of her, and I'm like, I know. Tell me something I don't know, because I train these every single leg day. Right, that's the workout, but just for shits and gigs, we're gonna throw the heels on, see how we're looking. The amount of stuff I have in here, insane. So for my fellow girlies who compete, I actually just made the switch with my heel size before, and for my first show and only show that I've done this far, I got the 5-inch heels from Shoe Fairy, and I felt like my poses just didn't really look good in them. I felt like a baby deer, like no matter how much I practiced, and it was because the platform on the 5-inch heels is like kind of curved. So when I would walk or try to turn, I just didn't feel like it was like a stable platform, and I felt like I was kind of like rocking back and forth. And with my front pose, if you're not familiar with like the wellness pose, in your front pose, you want to kind of like stand on your tiptoe, and I'll show you guys what I mean. And with the 5-inch heels, it was just way too difficult for me to lift my heel off the ground anymore. I actually was talking to one of my friends who uses the 4.5-inch heels, and it's just a smaller, flatter platform here. So like again, the 5-inch kind of like curves, whereas this is like just more of a flat platform. And I wanted to try them for the longest time, but I just like couldn't bring myself to get them because again, I'm not competing until next year. And I'm not starting prep until like the end of the year, this year. But I was like, you know what? I want to practice my posing. So I went ahead and ordered these. These are I think they're the Olympian 2.0s from the Shoe Fairy. And I'm so mad that I didn't do it sooner because my walk looks better, my posing looks more fluid, and I'm just like way more comfortable in these heels. What I mean by my front pose. So in the wellness front pose, your front foot, you want to be lifting onto your toes a little bit more, and you're digging in to try to like flex your quad. My back foot, I'm kind of at like a 45-degree angle. So my hips are facing 45 degrees, but my upper body, my shoulders are facing front. So it gives that illusion of like big legs, small waist, and that kind of like hourglass. In wellness, obviously we want to show off our legs a lot more. So in my front pose, I'm digging this foot, I'm digging in, and you can kind of see it, but when I'm not digging in versus when I am digging my foot in, you can just see a little bit more quad definition. Obviously I'm not lean right now, so it's not super obvious, but with my 5-inch heels, I wasn't really able to do that. So with these, I feel a lot better. And my poses, I just feel like are way more fluid. I'm just like way more comfortable in these. I just feel like I can walk, I can spin, I can like just be a little bit more like free and like freestyle my posing a little bit more, whereas before it was more of like a balancing game. I'm a lot more confident than I was for my first show, obviously, and I feel like better, but I just think that it takes some time to like figure out what works for you and get all creative with it. But luckily I have some time before I have my next show. So that being said, that was the full leg workout. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you give it a try. If you do, let me know how you like it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below what you want to see next. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. As always, I will leave the handles right here. And I will see you next time, guys. Bye.